on in. Hi, back again. Now this is part 4 of the chicken galantine. Oh good, turn it off while we're over here. Thank you. Yeah, better? I hope so. Okay, but it's really hot today, so but since we're over here, it's better. This is a mix of grinder body. This thing weighs a ton. That weighs a ton. This is very heavy. Before you start anything like this, you should make sure the plug is out, just for safety reasons. The switch is over here, the on-off. All right. Let's put the grinder together. This side. Remember the body. Now the body itself has a hole and a pin, so you only can put it in one way, like that. No little Bruce Lee nunchucks. That goes here. Now this has been refrigerated or frozen. They're usually kept very cold. So when you're tightening this, especially with the boys, you don't pull on this really hard, just tight enough, because it's cold. As it gets hot, it starts sweating. So just tight like that, just to keep it in there. Because when the machine runs and with the grinding friction, it starts making hot, and then you never get this off until it cools off. So once again, tight, just stop and then a little turn, and that's it. That's all you're going to need. The screw is squared, so it can only go in one way. You're going to turn it and it pops in. Make sure it's all the way in. Okay, once again, the knife. All right, the knife has 2 sides. This was really good, by the way. It really sharpened it. Crazy sharp. I was surprised. I need to get a new one of them though, because they do get smaller. They do wear down. This has to go like that. I guess that side out. Once again, that's square, so it fits in there. I'm going to use the large die first. Let's see, there's a little notch there. There's a notch there. And what you do is you take 2 fingers, hold the die, and put this on, so it doesn't move. Same thing with this, just tight enough. You don't want to put it too tight. We got a hopper and a pusher. All right? Be very careful. I should take this off. Put it over here. Never put your fingers down here. If this gets caught in there, this machine does not stop. It does not say sorry. It will take your fingers off, it'll take your clothes off, it'll take everything off. So you gotta be very, very careful. Put it together, put the cap on, then you plug it in. Now to make sure it's running okay is the on off very quickly. Just so, I don't know if something's wrong, or if there's, who knows, a fork on in there, something metal, something wrong. Because this itself will explode, this type of metal. If you drop this thing, it breaks. It's cast aluminum, cast steel. So it's actually very fragile, it's very heavy, very fragile. It should be kept cold. Wasn't happy. Make sure it's tight. Should have something a little bigger than that. That's not a good idea. Yeah, can you swing it on over? Yeah. Once again, I say don't put your fingers in there. You got this to do. Drop a few pieces in. Don't overload it. What does it look like? Sausage. We're halfway there. Let it run. Now in class, this is a small amount. It's a small amount. In class, you'll see where we do it together, we have a lot more. Keep your thumb there and spin it off. Meat kind of sticks in there. Put that on there. What you do, turn it on off really quick. It pushes out the dye. That meat, you can take this out, because we're going to grind it twice. You put it up there. Make sure everything goes back correctly. On my desk underneath, look for like a chopstick. And bring over the small knife. Oops, okay. Yeah, that was silly. Taking this off and putting it on the small die. This is much finer, much smaller. Okay, just put it right there. Again, always check to make sure it's on off real quick. From sausage grind to basically hamburger grind, I guess. Cool. Now, there's always going to be some meat left over in here. That always happens. That's one reason why we grind it twice, because the first one you saw the big pieces. What's left over in there is going to be naturally smaller pieces anyway, so you can use it. Let it run for a while. We'll just keep putting it out. You talk about cleaning these things. If there's any, run a knife across, sometimes you can grab some. Not really. So, the only way is one by one. I'll do this under running water. You can see the note from the other time. This is fine now. I had to scrub it with metal sushi meat. And when I'll show you on the next part of how to take care of these. Ooh, very nice. This will get warm. But a lot of times if you're doing a lot, you can take an ice cube. 1 or 2 ice. You don't want to put too much because you add water to your product. Which once again, ground beef. You buy bulgogi ground beef and you see a lot of times thin blood, but pink. When they're grinding, they add water. They add ice. Now it keeps the machine cold. It keeps everything fresh. But water's heavy. Water's cheap. So cheap ground beef has a lot of water in it. Okay, cleaning, once again, this has to be cleaned very well. Try to remember this. Try to remember the part. I know a lot of people don't. I forget sometimes too, but it's not worth it. I can bring it back down. Spin this off. There's going to be some meat in here. Now, once again, this is all clean, so don't worry about it. It's not wasting it. There's nothing wrong with that. You can see it's very clean. And when we're done, when we're washing it, we're going to clean it extremely well again. I keep this in the freezer when we're not using it, so we don't have to worry about milk or anything. Oops. This one's a little more difficult to clean. Okay, sometimes a knife does better, but no, chopsticks. This is going to be harder to clean. See the chopstick fit in there? Oh yeah. Barely. No, that's fine. So you have to, once again, when cleaning this, one by one. But you do it under running water, it's much easier. This is the reason why you want to make sure there's actually going to stick your hand in here and you got the knife. Now you can inspect this. You can make sure this is fine. This is all really sausage grind now. And mix that in, that's fine. That's not going to make that much of a difference. Take the screw out. This is what I was talking about now before we're handling it. Now I got greasy, wet hands. So this gets very heavy with it. This you could leave in there, but if you lose it, you're in a lot of trouble. Lose any of it. Well, you're going to see in here. I don't know if you can see in there, can you? All right. There's a little gogi in there. Don't worry about that. I mean, you could dig it out, but it's not much. What you have to worry about is cleaning it. You got to make sure you get all the fat out of there, all that, because once again, it will be a bacteria jip if you don't really clean this well. And in class, if we have time, well, in Italy class, we make sausage, Italian sausage. And it's basically the same thing. When you're making a sausage, this is my little homemade sausage maker. It works out quite well. Right? Not bad, not a bad idea. And it works. Not the best, but once again, without it, it's hard to make sausage. So, being a chef, you got to be pretty innovative. And you know, I can't seem to get it. Even though Sundae's made here, it's a different attachment. It's a different machine. So, but in the West, you have grinding machines have all kinds of these type of attachments, even cheese graters and things. And that works quite well. It works quite well. Okay. Now, let's take a look at our product. How much time we got there? Okay. We're going to have to move back over. So, end of part 4, start of part 5.